Hello, I am Shanahan, and I am joined by Nerdbound.
Hello.
And we are commentating on this play-in match for League B. Minionpawn and Personman both finished second in their C division, and a couple of players have dropped out of B division for next season, so the winner of this match gets to promote to play in the B division.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. So, I don't know, we both played in B division before, and it's a tough division. These players have their work cut out. I don't know if Personman has been in B before, but Minionpawn has not. So this is sort of their peak, and they're trying to best it this season.
Yeah, so this board, so far it looks like they're going Patron gear, which makes a lot of sense. But it looks like a pretty typical engine, with the only weird thing being that the trashing comes from Forge.
And the actions come from villagers.
Yes.
And maybe in the end game that becomes a problem. But maybe you get enough acting troops that it doesn't matter.
Well, or Academy.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking even with Academy, by the end game, you may start to run out of stuff. But I guess you play with a couple gears and you try to get off a big Forge, and then your deck's pretty thin, and then you add some Platina and a Nomad camp and get colonies, something like that. Gear Patron is actually like one of the few openings you can hit 7 sometimes.
Yeah.
If you're able to set aside 2 coppers and then draw or copper Patron and draw everything, but it doesn't look like either of them are going to get to that.
Actually, Minionpawn has a copper set aside and is looking at 6. So,
ooh, wow,
that looks like Forge to me.
Yeah, so the turn 4 Forge is pretty nice, I would say.
Yeah.
Especially with a gear out of play now, they can set up gear with Forge and get like a big, trash couple of states, bunch of coppers, and get a nice lead going. Personman, their gear, they don't see their gear till turn 2, but they can set aside 2 estates here and have a somewhat clean shuffle. With I wonder if you consider top decking a Nomad camp here. If that,
I don't think I would. I think I'd rather just get another gear. Because you have this villager.
Yeah, and the gear is missed out of the shuffle, so that we can put another gear into the shuffle.
Yeah.
And if you can get a couple gears going, you can bounce the estates or sort of keep the estates in gear set aside land and never actually have to draw them until you can trash them, maybe.
Right. Well, or you do whatever is necessary to hit 7.
Yeah. So I wonder if they take Academy now.
Looking sad for Personman.
Yeah, did they not set aside anything with their gear?
I think they set aside... Oh, you're right.
There's even a bit of logic to set aside 2 coppers and not buy a... Well, I don't really want a Candlestick maker yet.
Right.
Yeah,
so I guess Personman's just really not prioritizing hitting 7.
Yeah, and Minionpawn meanwhile just trashed 5 cards, which is a pretty nice nice thing to have happen. But we'll see.
Their Academy.
Yeah.
Nomad can't make some sense given that, because you might hit a big price point sometime soon here. I felt a little early to think that.
Yeah, but I think you could just pick up free, kind of somewhat cheap Fisherman along the way for 2. So you hit 7, you get Fisherman Lab, something like that.
Yeah, that does make sense.
And that starts to build up those coffers, or the villagers as well. Yeah, I guess. I think you set aside Forge Copper here.
I think so too.
Because knowing the estate's coming up, and then forge the estate into...
So then you're hitting 6, which might just be a gold.
Yeah, I could also believe in, like, Fisherman second gear.
Right, I forgot about Fisherman again.
Oh.
Yeah, so if you're getting... Okay, I miscounted too. Okay, yes, that makes a lot of sense. And lab. I thought they had 6, but they had 7.
I also thought they had 6. Interesting. So Personman has the Forge, which is nice. It just seems like they're pretty far behind here.
Yeah.
You know, we can go
to get
estate
caught up somehow.
Estate and 4 coppers into Fisherman by a gold. You know, something like that. The gold lets you get platinum next turn. And you could also consider like Candlestick Maker instead of Fisherman, but I think 2 buys is good for now. Given that if you're buying a platinum and a Fisherman, that's 11 already, so they're not quite at 11. If they get a gold this turn, they get a platinum next turn, and then...
Yeah, I don't hate the Candlestick Maker, though, because it is nice to have a source of coffers to just smooth everything out.
Yeah. I also like potentially Forge...
Whoa. Keeping a bunch of coppers.
I think they're overdrawing somewhat... or they just really wanted that duplicate. It looks like they're drawing deck anyways, so it doesn't matter tremendously.
Right.
Something interesting you could think about doing is like forging Fishermen into labs so you buy it for 2 and then you turn it into a lab later. But I think we need the money at this point of the game. And I assume we're just gaining a gold here. Again, I would consider just getting rid of all the coppers. Forge 3 coppers, and we still hit 9.
You can afford platinum here, right?
Yeah.
Already, yeah. So you can decide like Fisherman Forge and still get platinum. But that obviously doesn't work very well with the duplicate. The duplicate really surprised me.
Yeah, I mean, we can duplicate Fisherman, we can duplicate labs in a bit. Gold, I guess, but you really don't want more than like 1 gold to get you to platinum, right?
Right. Yeah, I guess it's for labs, but I'm not planning on getting a lab this turn, so then it feels a little awkward. Well, maybe you can get a lab this turn. Maybe that's the thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're also overdrawing their deck at this point, so I would be more interested in adding payload than draw. And there is, with gear involved, there are going to be a couple of other sources of draw. Even if Personman has 3 labs now. They just haven't thinned. One of the things about the line they took is it's somewhat annoying to get rid of your last copper now, given that they don't have an estate left.
Right.
They have to either...
So at some point you might have overdraw, and you just trash an action along with all your coppers, and then redraw that action.
Yeah, and you can even duplicate that action as well. So there's some nice stuff that you can do there. I assume... Okay, they take 2 golds with duplicate. If they'd taken a gold last turn...
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess having the duplicate in the deck is nice. If they'd taken a gold last turn, they could have bought a platinum this turn. But I assume their next step is platinum, and then they'll be duplicating action cards.
Yeah.
If you're always duplicating a cantrip, then with Academy, it's kind of non-terminal. If you think about it like that. But, I start to worry it's, we're gaining through the piles. They both have a built-up three total villagers. And, the non-terminal piles will run here at some point. But maybe by the time Labs and Fishermen are out, the game will be ending immediately on a 3rd pile. This is awkward. They kind of missed everything.
Has Personman still not gotten to trash? Yeah, they still haven't. So this one of these last cards must be. There it is. Okay.
I'm very confused by what Minionpawn did there. I don't know why they. Okay, they just wanted to get rid of the coppers and gain golds, and gain 2 labs. Okay, that makes sense when you think about it. I assume it's just play Patron and gain another Patron. Trash 6 cards into a Patron. Maybe buy a Candlestick maker. Unless they're also considering saving some number of coppers. But I think at this point, you just get rid of all the coppers.
They definitely shouldn't. Yeah.
They've got 3 labs, 2 fishermen, a gear. They just don't have enough draw. I think there's some logic. I think Minionpawn had to draw some of those coppers three times after they could have originally trashed them. And instead of adding labs, they could have added more treasure, but now they're completely thin. And they should be drawing deck here pretty easily. Mm-hmm. That being said, they should have drawn deck pretty easily last turn. It was, you're looking at 2 labs, a gear, a fisherman. The bottom card is a Nomad camp. So they had a pretty awful shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they've even overdrawn by quite a bit now, which lets them potentially do some stuff with Forge. I'm not quite sure what. Forging gold and gear into platinum is interesting. Because then they can get that platinum in play and have quite a bit of money. And then you can just rebuy a gear for 3 later and get the villager. And you have to.
That's probably good.
6, 8, 10. That gets you to 15 money and 2 buys, which is maybe another platinum and a Nomad camp. Or they can consider forging something into.
there we go. Got to resign.
They can consider forging into something with plus buy, I guess, but they were quite far behind if we look at this deck state.
Yeah.
So we move on to game 2.